Good morning, Bear Nation. Can I get a baseline? Somebody give me a baseline. It's a Homestead day. It's also a day of prep, or a Friday, as the world calls it. Busy day. I am leaving the farm store, local farm store, where I just spent way more money than I probably ever wanted to. A lot of money. But I'm in my wife's, what we call the heavy hauler, right? The Oklahoma pickup truck, AKA an SUV. And so I'll just give you an idea of what's in this thing, okay? I have 200 pounds of whole corn. That's for food storage. I have 80 pounds of sweet feed, 80 pounds of 13% all stock pellets. That's not for food stores, that's for animals. I have 12 white buckets, which I put like rice and stuff in, and I have 6 blue buckets, which I put pinto beans in, or beans of various assortment, and 18 lids. I have 12 bags of concrete in the back, so the front seat is filled with sacks of feed. And I have the seatbelt buckled, because otherwise it bing, 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 the whole ride back. I learned this before, because it thinks that the weight of the feed is a person. It's really annoying. So I have that, and then I have a guy in front of me who doesn't know how to turn. There we go. Concrete in the back, 12 sacks of concrete. So in the vehicle, 9 sacks of feed, 12 sacks of concrete, 18 buckets. And then in the heavy hauler back there, I've got a 150-foot roll of chicken wire, 4-foot high chicken wire, which is for the chicken run at the chicken coop. So we can move the chickens in the outside brooder into the run, and move the chickens in the inside brooder into the outside brooder, so that I can victoriously reclaim my laundry room / poultry brooding station. So we got to do that, and then I've got 12 8-foot posts to go with those 12 sacks of concrete for fencing the front field, which is about 150 foot square. In the back in the trailer, the heavy hauler, and 2 bales of pine shavings for the outside run for the chickens. I know they don't need shavings, but I like shavings because it captures their poo. And then I put that in my compost pile. Then I put that compost on top of my garden, and then that turns into vegetables, and then I eat the vegetables. So, the circle of life, right? Remember that song from The Lion King? Good times. And then I have 2 4-foot high by 330 foot long field fence, rolls of fence in the back of the trailer as well, and 2 4-foot pre-filled economy gates pre-filled with wire. We just spent $1,000 at the feed store. And number 1, praise the Father that we had it to spend. Number 2, we don't have to, we choose to, but all of this moves the ball down the field as far as the homestead has occurred. Like, I've got 400 more pounds of food to bucket up this week, which is great. Like, that's huge. 400 pounds of food. I've got 200 pounds of corn, 100 pounds of rice, and 100 pounds of beans to put up this week, which is great. And also, dude, yay cash flow. Like, the coaching, consulting, all of that, like doing the things. It's wonderful because, we don't live beyond our means. We have next to no debt right now. We're basically debt free. My wife has one card left that we're paying on. Other than that, we're debt free, and we're snowballing that debt, so it's gone, right? We don't buy fancy things. We don't, you know, half of the clothes I have were given to me. Like, you know, we don't live beyond our means. In fact, we try and live well below our means, and then that creates headroom in our revenue to do things like save up, execute, go spend $1,000 so that we can fence the front field. And the reason we're gonna fence the front field is we gotta move the sheep out of the sheep pen, because that's gonna become a turkey pen for the 10 meat turkeys. I guess they're all meat, right? Like, I don't know. The 10 freaking meat turkeys that my wife bought. And the baby sheepy goat things are in the garden plot right now, doing what they do, because it's not time to garden yet, but it's about to be time to garden, so they need a place to go as well, which is why the front field needs to get fenced. And then, like I said, we got to put the poultry wire up on the chicken run outside by the chicken coop so that we can move the first batch of baby chickens into the chicken run, so we can move the next batch of baby chickens slash baby ducks slash baby turkeys into the outside brooder, right? So that they can then go from there into what used to be the sheep pen slash wherever, and turn into meat for dad. That's the end goal of all of this. Everything gets turned into meat for my belly. That's why we're doing this, is meat for my belly. Meat for your belly if needed, right? Like, for the whole tribe as much as possible. This is what I preach when I teach and preach positions of strength. This is what I mean, right? So a little bit of self-sacrifice over the last few months, we've been able to stack up some cash so that we could execute on this front field, knowing we're gonna need to execute on this front field. So now we are executing on this front field so that we can continue to literally grow our flocks and herds. When I say flocks and herds, I literally mean flocks and herds. You know, I like looking at the story of Abram in the Bible, right? Like, this guy started out with like a trailer park existence. He got his, you know, his wife's handmaid pregnant, and they all kinds of inner battling and back, like, all that the story of Abram is missing is a pallet of Keystone Light. Like, that's it, right? And like, that's just it, right? And so it's very Jerry Springer, right? And then he starts getting his stuff together, and he starts doing what the Father tells him to do, and it goes well for him, and Melchizedek comes down off the mountain and blesses him. And like, this guy was good at warfare. He had 318 of his own household kitted up, ready to go. So he had his own militia, right? And he had flocks and herds, and like, the guy was a powerful man. And by the end of his life, he was the patriarch. He was the guy, right? And so I just love that story, and I see a lot of good instruction for a man like me as to how do we do these agricultural things. Well, flocks and herds are power. And so to that end, we have flocks and herds, and we intend to grow our flocks and herds for the betterment of us, and then the betterment of everybody else around us as well. And that's what I mean by positions of strength, is how do we operate in such a way that we are good as much of the time as possible. Because if we are good as much of the time as possible, that puts us in the best position possible to help and bless and assist others, right? If we're not good, I can't help you, right? What's the first way you treat a casualty in a firefight? Fire superiority, right? Positions of strength. You can't go out there and grab your brother and start rendering aid until you've got the bad guys ducking their heads down, okay? It's the same thing. It's positions of strength. Firepower superiority. I have to be good, right? I have to be in control of the situation before I can render aid. And so for me, that's what this looks like, that's the way that we're building this thing out to the best of our ability. That's the idea behind the homestead. A lot of people are like, the people, they tell me it's tremendous. Believe me, with the hand signs, it's tremendous. The people, they tell me, they're like, yeah, you know, it must be nice living on a homestead. It is nice, and we enjoy it. It's not easy. It's not quiet. Like, I love people who are like, I'm just gonna move to the country and have a quiet existence. Not if you have animals. Those suckers are hungry, they're gonna let you know. The sun's up, they're gonna let you know. The sun's going down, they're gonna let you know. It's 3:38 in the afternoon, they're gonna let you know. Like, these things, they have voices and they talk all the time. So anyway, I wanted this to be a cute little intro to the video, but it's way longer than a cute little intro, so sorry I'm not sorry. Like, apologies, question mark. So yeah, we have a super busy day today. It's not even 9 a.m. It's 8:44 in the morning. I've been up since 5 doing the computer things. At 7 I was like, I gotta go. I can't sit inside anymore. It's prep day. I got things to do. I gotta ride around with my new Wrestling Association cup and drink this coffee, which unfortunately I'm out of, but I'm mere dozens of minutes from the homestead, so I'll go get some more, get my day started for real outside doing all the things, and to the best of my ability I will bring you guys along for the ride. Okay, so we're gonna build a structure, or at least set the posts for a structure in the front field for the sheepy goat thingies, and there's some limbs that need to be trimmed. So 361, MS 391, 066 Magnum. Probably gonna go medium. Okay, so now that we trimmed these trees and we had a plan all figured out, now my wife's like, I don't know. Should the fence line go right in between these two runs of ponds, or should they go more this way or more that way? We had a plan.
Out on the outside.
No, not on that side of the ponds. I don't like it. I think we should go right down the middle of these like we were talking about. But that's gonna move us back a little bit this way.
Yeah, but then we're dealing with all the roots. Like, I feel we should either be on that side or on that side.
Then we go where we were.
Okay, fine.
Then we go where we were. If you're worried about if you want the goats to eat that,
we'll let them out.
Rope. We throw a rope around their face and then tie them to a tree.
Well, it's just un goat.
Un goat. We'll get more. We gotta go see the lady with all the goats. The goat lady. Oh, don't poke my belly. All right, here we go. All right, we dug 4 holes. For whatever reason, my wife is raking the forest floor before the sheep get in there and do sheep things, because she wants to build luxury sheep condominiums. And 4 holes are dug for the corner posts for our run-in shed, our loafing shed, our sheep structure, luxury sheep condominium dwelling. And so we're gonna set some posts real quick, and then we're gonna stretch lines off of that so that we can set our corner posts, so that we can then figure out where our gates go. Then we can fill in with T-posts. The joy of homesteading. It's so peaceful. It's so peaceful out in the woods. I just love it. It's so quiet and easy. It's an easy life. Holes are dug. Get in here. Holes are dug. Now it's time to time lapse. Do the time lapse dance. All right, so we set a post all the way down there. You guys can barely see it, it's right there. And that's 150-ish feet that way, I don't remember. That way. And so I've got 3 more wooden posts to set in this line. We're gonna hinge a gate, a small gate, right off of this post, the little one, a 4-footer. And then down there on the ground, you can see there's 2 more posts laying, and then a 12-foot gate will go there so that we can move vehicles in and out. See this space right in between these 2 trees? That's a naturally occurring space, and so it's a good spot to put a big gate that I can back a truck in and out of there if I need to. And then we're gonna fill in with T-posts all the way down the row here, 10 foot on center. And then after that, I'm gonna eat lunch. And then we're gonna transition to getting poultry netting / chicken wire on the chicken run so we can get the stinky birds out of my laundry room. So that's what's happening now. All right, it's lunchtime now on the nice, quiet, peaceful, easy homestead. It's warm today.
Yeah, I'm still in my switch.
Yeah, you're still, I'm in my knot. I'm about to Hulk Hogan. What were you saying about Roots? Not the movie?
So when you're scouting a property that you're wanting to homestead on, one thing to consider would be kind of having forethought of what animals you want and then what type of enclosures you're wanting to do. Because one of the things that we have run into, even going this far off of the pines, is tons of roots. So if you live in a forest and you're wanting goats and chicken, whatever you have to have set fencing or pins for, it's going to be something that you're going to be contending a lot with.
Yeah.
Are
Roots.
Multitudes of roots. And if you're digging posts, that's...
some of them, if they're about that big around, I can just chop through them with a shovel.
Right.
And you can too if you've dug as many holes as I have. One of the first things I was made to do as a child was dig holes. And not like little holes, like telephone pole holes. So yeah.
But like we changed our line
over here because of roots.
Yeah.
But digging holes, it's good. It's good for you. But also, like, you're not gonna have cows in the woods. It's not gonna happen. Goats probably, sheep not so much.
Especially if you have lots of rock.
Yeah.
Rock is something completely different than roots.
If we were trying to do this on Shofar,
or even back
behind Grandma's house,
yeah. There's tons of rocks back there, and not little rocks. We're talking like boulders.
Yeah, big rocks. So, and you could staple your fencing to trees. I don't like that because I was a tree guy, and I've many a time dulled my chain on pieces of metal inside of trees, and shut up, you're dead to me. And there's lots of loggers won't buy standing timber near houses and homesteads for that very reason, because there's metal in the trees. And then when they take it to the sawmill, that beautiful veneer grade cherry log that you cut, guess what? Now it's pallet stock. So instead of $12,000 per 1,000 board foot, you're getting paid $400 per MBF per 1,000 board foot. So I don't like putting metal into trees because I'm me. However, do what you want. We're gonna go eat lunch, and then we're gonna put chicken wire on the chicken run, and then it's also day of prep, so we got to do all the other things. All right. The lunch has been had. This is not my good side. I don't have a good side. Thank you. I have wood in my beard. So hardcore, my beard's wooden. We just trimmed that little red bud right there, right? And cause it's here, and it just needed to happen. So when in doubt, apply chainsaws.
Cut me out.
Yeah, just come here, and look, we're at a level. We'll fix it. People love this stuff. There we go. So now we're gonna put the wire on this because it needs to happen, and then depending on how much time, ambition, and energy we have in the day, we might go back over into the front field and finish doing that.
Yeah.
How do you still have a hoodie on? I'm sweating.
I'm skinny. I ain't got as much insulation.
I know. Here we go. All right, so now I have a consult call with a guy in 3 minutes. So I'm gonna go do that. There's the little chicken run area with my wife putting her butt on display. Nice, honey, internet loves it.
Hey, everybody saw your butt whenever you were doing all those,
So anyway, gonna go do that. You gotta take Shine to a softball game, and then after, I don't know what's gonna happen after that. I feel like there's beer involved after that. So nice easy day on the homestead, nice peaceful. It's exactly like you see in Mother Earth News. Here's an article about 5 ways that you can have a nice peaceful homestead. Step 1, not gonna happen. Step 2, you're delusional. Step 3, spend lots of money you don't have. Step 4, buy our magazine. Step 5, you're still delusional. Okay, so the bigger babies, these guys down here, we evicted from the brooder, the outside brooder. They're hating life. They don't like me. They're not at all happy. So yeah, whatever, they'll figure it out. And then, watch out, honey. And then back in there, you guys can't see it in there, there's a little brooder box down in there that has a light on it, and it has 9 turkeys, 10 runner ducks, and 10 bantam chickens in it. They're not too happy either. And then who's really unhappy is there's a broody hen named Shelly, because she got the boots with the fur around here somewhere, and she is pissed. I threw her out of there. She would not leave, and I did not want her to attack all the babies and kill them. So in fact, I opened the lid to the brooder box, and she jumped in there, and I was like, oh no, she's gonna murder everybody. So I grabbed her and threw her from in there all the way into this chicken wire. Oh, by the way, this enclosure's done. And then threw her outside, and she's now, I think she's under the coop, but she is not happy. So yay, homestead drama. So my wife is gonna get the little babies, i.e. the ducks, the turkeys, and the bantams squared away in there. And the bigger babies, the 22 full-sized-ish birds, are gonna have to just learn to be teenage birds. And then I'm either gonna drink beer or work on the fence again. I don't know which one yet. Or maybe both at the same time. I don't know. So, yay, homestead.
All right, these little buttheads are starting to get it figured out. You're gonna put grit in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Good answer. Good
The
answer.
Lammy's like half tore the bag open.
Did they? Oh, the sheep, the big ones. Yeah.
4:04 p.m. on Friday. The Temptress Imperial Milk Stout. Life is good. Shalom.